How's it going, guys? This is Thomas Pyburn with 317 Dynamics. Today I got a request video from a good friend of mine named Josh, an old paintball buddy from Proving Grounds Paintball. He asked me to talk about trigger reset, trigger pull, and I'm going to incorporate stance and what I think is the most important thing, using the trigger reset on a gun. All semi-automatic firearms, at least the majority of them, at least the good ones I should say, have a trigger reset. Ones that do are Smith & Wesson M&Ps, Springfield XDs, Glocks have the best trigger reset in my opinion. The new TP9 from Century Arms has got a great trigger reset. SIG 320 and the HK VP9. So first thing you need to do when you're going to make a good shot is talk about grip. I'm left-handed. The grip will be the same if you are left-handed or right-handed. It does not matter. So what we're going to do, always have our finger high enough the trigger. I have an enhanced, very light trigger in my gun, so my finger is this high off the gun when I go to draw my gun. Anytime I go to present it like this, my finger is on top of my slide, so it's touching my barrel, just so I don't have any kind of an accidental discharge when I'm ever holding the gun. So we want to fill in all of this space right here. If I was to shoot the gun left-handed, just like this, because I have no resistance on this side and resistance on this side, it's going to go up and to the left. If I do vice versa, hold it with the right hand, no resistance, resistance, it's going to go up and to the left. And if I don't get my hand high up on the tang of the gun right here and don't have it nice and high, it's just going to go straight up in the air, which is what we don't want. We want 100% with our dominant hand and 100% with our support hand. So to build that grip, have our thumb high up in the air just like this, finger off the trigger, fill in this space by taking your palm, putting it on the blank part of the frame right here on the grip, taking our fingers, wrapping them underneath the trigger guard. You don't want your finger touching or pulling on this front part of the trigger guard. I have a flashlight on here, one, because I think they're very handy to have on a firearm, but it also reminds me and teaches me never to put my finger there because I physically can't do it. I got a flashlight in the way. So we're going to build that grip. Just fill in the blank space, wrap our hands around, thumb on this part of the slide right here, so both of our thumbs are pointed forward. And what we're just going to do is extend our arms all the way out. Once we do that, we want to make sure our sights are perfectly aligned. Some people like to line their sights up and cut the target in half with the top lines of their sights. I have a Mariglow 2-dot night sight, so all I do with mine is put the orange dot directly on what I want the bullet to hit, and it hits it every single time. So that is your grip, and that's how you want to grip every semi-automatic gun. A revolver is different grip, but we'll cover that later on at some other point whenever I have a student with a revolver. But the most important thing when you're pressing the trigger, not pulling the trigger, pressing the trigger, is using the reset. So when we're gripping the gun, or when we're shooting the gun's unloaded, we want to make sure we use the flat part of our finger right along here. You don't want to use too much back here or the tip, or you're going to pull it either to the left or to the right. So just a slow press back, perfectly just like that. The most important key to it is using the reset. That's what allows me to shoot faster and make more precise shots. So what the reset is you're going to hear a little click once I slowly let up on this trigger. That little click right there. And then once I hear that click, it'll fire again. I'll show you that one more time. The gun just fired, light up, goes off. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. So I'm going to shoot the fourth plate from left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the square plate. I'm going to fire at that plate. That's at 17 yards, and I'm going to show you how I hit that every time. I'm going to talk about my stance and everything I just showed you. So gun's hot. I stand with my feet shoulder width apart. Some people teach Weaver or isosceles stance. I don't believe in those because you won't remember to do those when you have to use your firearm. You're going to go, oh shit, and draw your gun, and you're going to present it and engage your threat. So we stand with our feet shoulder width apart, or whatever stance you happen to be in at the time. You might take a step back, forward, left, right. Doesn't matter. You just get out of the way when you need to use your firearm. So once we've taken our stance, we'll move to the side. I'm going to build that grip. I'm going to extend my arms out. Make sure you always remember, bring the gun to your eyes, not your eyes to the gun. Always remember that. So I took my step, I built my grip, I have my sights aligned, put my finger on the trigger. I'm going to take the slack out of the trigger, I feel the reset, and just like that. I have the trigger held down right now. I'm gonna let it up for the reset. Like that. Every time. A little high that time. So just like that. So those are the main things when you're shooting a semi-automatic handgun. How to be accurate with it. You always want to make sure that your grip is perfect. You're standing accordingly. Whenever I go to draw my gun, like if it's in a holster like it is right now, what I'll do is if I see a threat, first thing I do is yell stop, and I'll move to the side, draw my gun, and present it. All while I'm doing that, I'm building that grip, extending my arms out all the way and acquiring my sights. If you have your hands bent in like this, you're gonna get more recoil. So always keep that in mind whenever you're shooting. And I'm telling you, shooting off the trigger reset on a Glock is the way to make an accurate shot. A stock Glock has a 5.5 pound trigger. When you shoot off the reset, it's a 3 pound trigger pull. This has a 3 pound trigger pull right out of the box with the Zev trigger kit in it, but when I shoot off the reset, it's 2 pounds. So it's kind of like a 1911. So that's just a quick little tip on how to hit steel plates at 17 yards. The size of that steel plate is well within, could be a headshot or a center mass shot, exactly where you want to hit. But appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions or comments, put the comments in the link below. Any questions you have, I'll gladly answer them for you. And always remember, the infidels are leading the way for the 3%ers. Thanks for watching.